And in today's video, we're going to talk about what it takes to really get leads into your car dealership. So let's talk about that. Okay, you know and I know that there's always this sweet spot when you first get started in a car dealership where you feel like you have the world by the tail. There's actually a name for this in the car dealership business. The different dealerships have different names, but what I call it is I call it the Sweet 7, okay? So everybody's got a sweet spot where they like to go to try to get people to come in for cars, but the Sweet 7 that I'm talking about today is you probably have 7 people right now in your network that will buy a car. So if you're very new to sales, you might not know this yet, but I'm sure if you hadn't heard it here, you'd eventually figure out, yeah, I have my auntie and, Papa and all my cousins and everybody at my other job that I just left and my old girlfriend, I'm going to call them all up and go, hey, come and buy a car for me. And that will work. I mean, if you have a bar you go to, I don't, or a church, I do, wherever your haunt is, there are going to be people there in your circle and in your network. And I call it the Sweet 7. It's the sweet spot where at least 7 people are going to bite. They're going to go, yeah, bro, I'll come down and buy a car from you, better you than someone else. But what do you do when your Sweet 7 runs out? So today we're going to talk about it. Again, this is Stu the Power Seller, and if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I highly recommend you do that to stay in the loop. I give out different things throughout the week. It's usually the same lead magnet tool, which I offer. You're going to find as you watch these videos, some of the videos mention a lead magnet tool you can use to get people to come in for a test drive. And that's part of what we're going to be talking about today, which is how to get people in for a test drive. And one of the ways that you can do that for people you don't know very well is to offer them a vacation just to come in and test drive a car. It's not the only way to do that, and there's other ways that you should probably try first, because we don't want to become dependent upon any gadget or gizmo. I don't believe in that. We teach selling here, and I do have a few things that can help you get over the hump when you're new. But when you're new, and you've already sold 7 people their car, around the office, you'd expect people to be like, hurrah, hurrah, you're the salesman of the month. But that's not always the case, because people that have been there a while, they had their sweet spot days too, where they sold every family member and person that they knew under the sun. And they just kind of look and nod around and smirk like, yeah, give it 2 weeks, maybe a month, and I'll be back up at number 1. And I have to tell you that sometimes the way that car salesmen put each other down and stuff, it's not very honorable. And I have a video on how to build morale at the workplace. I'm going to give you a link to that later. But what I want to talk to you about is when you're selling cars, it doesn't matter who thinks what about you at work. You're in the lead, and that's where you want to stay. So for all of you listening, unless you have someone else on your team and you're the only one at your job listening to this, I want you to be that person that's the number 1 ranking salesperson. But to do that, there's just no getting around it. You have to have leads. So what is a lead? A lead is information you have on someone who might want to buy a car from you. Now, typically how that works is you would call someone if you were in a different type of job and say, hey, I thought you might be looking for a car. And you can do that. You can call people. But the best way to do it is to approach people that you know. But when you run out of people that you know really well, your market is still not dry. So the best way to network is just word of mouth. It's someone you know or someone you're dealing with. And I can just hear the groans. I don't know anyone, Sue. There's nobody in my circle. I'm shot and withdrawn. But I'm telling you, if you interact with anyone on a normal day, if you go to Quick Trip and buy a candy bar, if you have somebody pump your gas for you, or you go to the workout gym, whatever you do during the course of the day, business to business, you absolutely have a market. And it's those people that you want to approach. And here's the great thing. If you are shy and you don't really have an opening to make a conversation to ask if they need a car, there are 2 different ways you can do this. One, you can try to start a relationship and try to get a conversation going. And that will get you so far. With waitresses love vacations. I mentioned this in one of my other videos. If you go out to eat with your friends, when the waitress comes and she's being all chatty, you can say, hey, let me ask you a question. Do you do you need a new car? I'm a car salesman. You can just point blank say that. And you can even give them a brochure. And if they're like, well, I don't really need a car right now, you can say, if you come in and take a test drive, I will give you a free vacation. Here you go. That will impress them. And you might think, well, they're not going to buy a car. But if you hand out enough of these, people will come in and they will buy cars. And this is not the only way to make an intro. Like I said, you can develop a slight relationship. I mean, you're not going to get super close with your waitress even over 10 years. They might know a lot about your life, but you'll probably never go out and do something with them. But you can actually get quite a lot of conversation flowing. So think of all of the places you go during a week, because here's what you need to know. Everybody needs to buy a car at some time in their life. Everybody. I've got a 97 Lincoln, and it's been going for a long, long time, and it's taken care of very well. But most people, they don't do every oil change. Their car's got maybe 10, 20 years at the most. So everybody's going to have to buy a car sometime. You need to know that, and there's really no way to know who needs a car unless you ask. And a very unobtrusive way to get leads, if you really don't like reaching out, is just after you've known someone a while and they ask what you do, you tell them that you sell cars for a living. And you can even tell them, hey, make them a deal. If they need something from you, maybe they want to cut your hair, during COVID, there weren't a lot of people going out for haircuts or whatever it is. You can, hey, I'll do this for you if you come and try out a car. But almost everybody bites when you offer them a vacation. So I want to tell you a little bit about the vacations, because obviously I think that's one of the easiest, most effective, and quickest ways to get someone biting. And in the beginning, eventually you want to get to the point where you are constantly trying to meet new people. You want to get to the point where you're making social connections. You join a bowling league or you go to a book club with the intent of meeting people to build your network. I don't mean you meet them so you can ram a vacation down their throat. There's nothing to ram down their throat. Everybody loves these. But it doesn't have to be pushy or pressure-filled if you build your network. You just build your network by getting more interests in your life that involve more people so that you widen your circle. But in the beginning, when you don't have a circle, maybe you're like, I'm boring. Before this job, all I did was wake up, go sell shoes, and go home. Or I have a family, or I'm busy all the time. I have another job. One of the things you can do to quicken the time it takes to get that bait out there is just to offer someone a vacation for coming in. Now, listen, when you do this, you need to be very serious. And I am very big on intention and belief. So you need to believe that you're going to get a lot of people when you go out there and ask people. Whichever method you try, if you're passing out brochures from your company, if you're building relationships, if you're just point blank asking people, hey, do you need a car? Or if you're passing out vacations, whichever method you do, you need to be intentional. And one of the ways you can gear your brain to get motivated to go out and meet people is just to have a planner. Now, if you're not an organized person, and a lot of salespeople are not organized, which is really another good reason you need one, you might be like, planning, planner is organization, but you do have to get organized here because that's part of being intentional. So here's how you do it. Just go to the dollar store, go to your favorite stationery store, go to Walmart or wherever it is that you go to buy paper products, and find a basic planner. What it needs at a minimum is just enough space to put 2 or 3 names down in each square of the calendar. It could just be even a calendar. But you want to do that, and every day you have a goal of trying to connect with 3 people who might need a car. This is a very good way of motivating yourself and staying on track. If you meet someone every workday, Monday through Friday, as you're going about the course of your week, and you get 3 of them to commit to come in for a car, think about this. You have 75 leads. That means those people are going to come in at a specific time to take a test drive with you. Now, you might want to tell them to call first, because when you're new, believe me, your boss probably isn't going to let you, come in and go, I have an itinerary of people I'm meeting with today at various times. Even if you did, they might look at you like, really? So soon? That's usually people that have been there 10 years that have that many leads. But you really should plan on having at least 3 people come into your dealership each day, and just tell them, call me before you come down. Let's plan on about this time. And there's other things you can do too. We're going to have another video coming up on how to really make sure people take your time seriously. But as you're getting started, you're probably not going to have floods of people. You're learning how to network. You're not even very confident yet. Maybe you are. I hope you are. So in the beginning, just plan on 3 people and have a loose time during Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. When you take out a planner, they're going to take you so much more seriously. But if they're hemming and hawing, have a few vacations so you can hand one out to that occasional person who's like, or maybe if nobody's buying cars, the economy's low, a vacation's a great way to get people to bite. Okay, so those are just some of the ways that you can network. Of course, you want to make sure that you look your best. You always want to smile, get to know people, ask questions about them. It's not insincere. It's just courtesy and hospitality. When you get to the place where you're like, I've gone through my network of people. I went to book clubs. I got to meet people, but I'm really kind of at the end of my rope here on how to motivate people to come in. Then go ahead, if you're there, that's where you're at in your sales journey, and just visit my website and download a vacation. Now, all throughout these videos, almost all of these videos have an offer for a vacation. Some have an expiration date. For example, some of them I might say, if you go to this link, you can download a free vacation without sending anything in. But some of the videos, maybe I don't have as many vacations that week, and you have to send in $10 to get the voucher that you give to your people. So it just depends. But what you need to do is, when you're watching my videos, look inside the videos for a vacation code, because they're different on each of the videos. And also, you want to go in the description to see if that vacation is still available, because sometimes they've expired. So you'll see in the description, it's not really complicated. Just every time you watch a video, look in the description. It'll say this video's expired or it's not. But listen, here's what I have done, and obviously this increases my views. A lot of people that are salespeople, I think, well, I don't call it ADHD because I have it, but a lot of people that love sales kind of have the attention span of a fruit fly, and they don't get all the meat that they really should from every video. They have a specific question, and this is why a lot of you can't sell. You just need to follow my playlist from the first video down to the last and really get it down pat. So to motivate people to really listen to the videos, and I try to make them entertaining, I tell about my pet rooster, I tell funny stories, I just tell the truth. But still, just to help you stay on track, in every video, I'm going to put a vacation code for the vacations that week. And I'm trying to put it on every single video so you can't miss it. But what that motivates you to do is, when you watch a video, watch at least through to the middle and you'll see the code. And I guess if you're cheating, you can even scan, with the arrow down there. And you can do that if you just want to find a specific question. But I want to encourage you today to do 3 things. Okay, 4. 1, build your network of friends. Go out to the mall and meet people if you don't go shopping a lot. I know women like to shop. Get into a book club. Find some places where people hang out and develop some friendships there. And get a circle of friends and try to do it in at least 3 places. So number 1 is build your network. Number 2, get a hold of a couple of vacations so that when you're like, I just don't know what to say, you can have a vacation to give people. That's one of the things that you can do. Number 3, get your boss to give you some of these car brochures. And I want to tell you, people will take you seriously if you say that you're a car dealer, if you take out a brochure that's got all of the cars there. And I mean, it's their way of, it's like e-commerce in live time. They pick it up and look at it. They'll ask you questions. That's a great way to get a conversation going, and you can take out your planner, which is the next step. You've got to have a planner, and you've got to plan to ask so many people each day to come into your car dealership. If you will just do this every day, if you will just widen your circle, whether you ever use a vacation to motivate someone who's like, nope, don't want it. And sometimes those are the very best people, because they're just stubborn. They get a vacation. The law of reciprocity kicks in. You take them around the block. They get a free vacation for it, and they'll buy. So many people really do want a car, but they just don't talk about it. But if you'll do these things, if you'll widen your circle, if you get that planner, if you'll meet people, if you'll try different lead magnets, and have their brochure ready as a way just to connect with someone, and you do it every single day that you're out and about, you're going to see an increase in your sales. Now, before I close, I want to say, I talk about these vacations all the time because statistics show around 95% of the time, and we know because people contact us and say, this is how much my close rates went up when I use these vacations. The majority of the time, if someone's on the fence and you know that they can afford it, all the parameters have been met. If they're just hemming and hawing and they're just kind of like, no, I don't want it. And sometimes people get in no mode, even when they need it. But if you get somebody like that and you offer them a vacation, 9 times out of 10, it will be just what they need to push them over the edge. Because some people, even when they need something, it's like the kid that knows they need a nap and they're screaming and crying. Some people just don't want to part with their money, even if they know they need to. One guy, this is the truth, he pulls up into a car lot. He's slipping and sliding on the ice. And he goes to get back in his car, and he knows he needs one. And he said the price wasn't right, and the engine blows. And it's smoking. He gets out of the car, walks back to the dealer, and goes, yeah, I think I need a car now. There are people that are that stubborn. Help them out. Give them a vacation if there's no other way. But there's plenty of ways to do this. The bottom line is just to get out there and meet people. Now, before I go, I want to tell you, this is March 12th. We extended this for the next 7 days through March 19th. That's just past St. Patrick's Day. You can get a vacation without having to send in any money to get the certificate. You can just download it yourself from the internet, because I really want you to try this out. Spring is when people start getting out. And why am I doing this? Because if you like it, you'll buy more. Now, you do have to put your information on there. You have to put down what dealership you're with. You have to do everything you can to fill in your fields. But if you print it on high quality paper, it can't look like garbage. You got to take it to the printers or have a color printer. Don't use newsprint. Use just something decent, and you're not letting your printer eat it up and wrinkle it. If I get that back from you, if I get that back from your customer's going to mail that certificate into me, and it's in good shape and you've got it filled out properly, I'll let you get up to 2 more, a total of 3, before you have to buy a vacation package. I think that's a pretty good deal. So when you see how this is helping you sell cars, I know it's going to make you want to buy more. But all you got to do today to get that, just go to the top of vacationbetter.blog, go to YouTube offer, and click on that offer. Now that's good through the 17th. That link is always up there, but the deal's changed. So you need to go and get that printed off as soon as possible. And it has that expiration date on there. Your customer has 2 weeks to send it in from that time. So you need to find someone and give it to them. They don't have to redeem it or take the vacation. They just have to send it back into me. That is pretty much it in a nutshell. Get yourself a network. Have something to pass out to them, a business card, brochure of cars, or a vacation that they can redeem if they come in for a test drive. And if you do that, and here's the key, you got to do it every single day, you're going to see your closing rate sail. Well, that's all we have time for today, but I want to encourage you to check out the different videos that I have, because after this sale is over, I intermittently upload different vacation codes you can use indefinitely, and then I take them down when that offer's over. But I hide them within different videos because I really want you to get good salesmanship techniques. I don't just want you to use this vacation voucher like a squeaky toy. When you need to learn the basics of selling. So many people are really hyper that sell, and they just don't go through it all. So check out my playlist. Go ahead and visit vacationbetter.blog and click on the YouTube offer in the right-hand corner, and then come back here and leave a comment on how well you were able to widen your network, meeting people and getting to know them. All right, guys, take care. I got to sign off for now. Remember, that website is vacationbetter.blog. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet, click on that subscribe button to stay in my loop. Take care.